So very good morning to all. Today we are going to continue about the PNF itself. So we are going to see the techniques that we were discussing in the last lecture. One such technique we had already discussed, that was rhythmic initiation. For rhythmic initiation, just to give you a brief idea, it starts with passive movement. We ask the patient to do nothing, then we ask the patient to do active assisted, that is help in the movement that we are aiming at. Later, completely assisted movement, completely active movement, and last will be resisted motion. Yes, so if you follow this, then 100% the patient will gain normal voluntary control, motor control. That means ability to control any movement through the brain. Yes. Second that we are going to discuss is combination of isotonics and reversal of antagonist. All both this we will be discussing today itself. So pay close attention to what we are going to discuss because it is kind of tricky to understand these motions. The first, as we already described, was the rhythmic initiation. We have discussed everything. Moving to second, that is combination of isotonics. Combination and isotonics. Isotonics means tone of the muscle remains same. Yes, there are mainly two kinds of contraction, muscle contraction. To generalize it, isotonic and isometric. Yes, here we are talking about isotonic. Isotonic can again be divided into two. Yes, concentric and eccentric. So here we'll be using this combination, concentric plus eccentric. Why? Because combination of isotonic. Isotonic is the moment in which the tone remains the same. When the tone is same, this can either be concentric or eccentric. We are going to use both them together. Yes. Combine concentric, eccentric and stabilizing contraction of one group of muscle, that is agonist, without relaxation. Now we will do what? We will ask the patient to concentrically contract. Then we will hold that position. So you can say it is also kind of isometric contraction. And then go for eccentric contraction. This is the baseline for combination of isotonics. Yes. First there will be concentric contraction, then there will be isometric contraction, and last will be the eccentric contraction. So if I have to demonstrate what it is done, how it is done, to generalize it, you will ask the patient to completely relax first of all. You will instruct the patients what is to be done, how it is to be done. You will show them first and then you will go for application of the technique. So first say for example, I want to improve the bicep strength. Yes. Or the more there is coordination. We are going to see the goals and activities in which it can be used. So for that, first thing that you want to do is train the biceps muscle. So I am resisting, yes, resisting the motion and asking the patient to contract. Yes, once I am reaching the end of elbow flexion, at that point I should ask the patient to maintain that. હું એટલું જ resistance સામે આપીશ જેટલું maintain patient કરી શકે. Then I'll ask the patient to relax and allow me to move the hand into extension but very slowly. Yes. So what will happen? I am trying to move that down. Yes, but the patient will try to move it back in. But after resistance એટલું હશે that the patient, our resistance will be very high. So the patient, even though trying, the hand will move into extension. Yes, so that is how eccentric contraction will work. First, we'll ask the patient to let the elbow flexion happen. So that is for biceps. Then hold this isometric contraction and last go for eccentric contraction. Eccentric contraction એટલે તમારે resistance વધારવાનું છે. So if we talk about resistance that we are going to provide, here will be mild resistance, here will be moderate, and here will be maximum. We are overcoming patient's strength. Yes, so first thing, concentric contraction કરાવવું છે patient ને, so directly this is also concentric but we will resist because we want to control the motion. આપણે control લેવાનું છે motion નો. patient નથી કરી શકતો control થી, એટલે we are going for PNF technique. Starting with concentric, we provide mild resistance. Yes, mild resistance. અહીંયા આવીને patient મૂકી નથી દેવાનું. Important term here is Without relaxation, વચ્ચે phase of relaxation ના આવવો જોઈએ. ત્રણેય contraction એક સાથે થવા જોઈએ. All the three contractions should be simultaneous. Concentric, hold it, isometric contraction, and then push. Maximal force should be given so that we can overcome the patient's strength, and we go for elbow extension, even though when the patient is trying to do elbow flexion. Yes, so that is what is eccentric contraction. So when you follow this concentric, hold, that is isometric, and last eccentric, it is termed as combination of isotonics. Now, when is this needed, or what will be the commands that we are going to see? So, we need it when active control of motion is low. Yes, જ્યારે patient actively નથી કરી શકતા. Say for example in paralysis. In paralysis, the patient is not able to do. Slight amount of movement is there, but it may be in abnormal movement patterns. Last time we discussed, brain remembers only movement patterns. Yes, not the muscle action. Biceps નું action એને ખબર હોય, પણ elbow flexion કેસ તો એ biceps ને activate કરશે. Yes, same thing. જ્યારે stroke આવે or paralysis આવે, one side of the body is completely paralyzed, no tone. At that time, patient forgets how the movement is. Yes, so they might learn something that is abnormal pattern, which is also termed as synergy. SYNERGY. When there is synergy, means you ask the patient to lift a specific pen or something weight, this will be elbow flexion. Yes, but while with the patient with elbow flexion, there might be abduction. Yes, so this is abnormal pattern, which is termed as synergy. So this is also one of the incoordination thing. Yes, so it is incoordination. The brain has learned something that is not normal, abnormal movement pattern, which is synergy. So there we can provide such resistances to make the patient aware of how the movement is done, because we are controlling it. આપણે concentric, isometric and eccentric એક સાથે આપણે control માં patient ને કરાવવાનું છે. Yes, so it will be very helpful for the patient to learn normal motions. Second is coordination, as we already described. Increase the active range of motion. Now here, this is orthopedic related. Yes. So whenever, say for example, biceps is tight, so which range will be limited? Flexion or extension? If biceps is tight, elbow flexion will be limited or extension will be limited? Yes, you can reply. Flexion will be limited or extension?
Extension.
Very true. Yes, so biceps is tight, that means it will not allow extension. Now, if you directly go for treating of triceps, or you can say even the biceps, direct or indirectly, you can go for contraction, complete contraction, that is concentric, then maintain it, and then go for eccentric. After a forceful contraction, the muscle will have to relax. Eccentric muscle work is maximum. Always remember this. When you are performing eccentric muscle work, at that time maximum amount of work happens. Why? Because the muscle has to work towards gravity in a limited speed. Yes, so maximum amount of work should be can be seen in eccentric contraction. So here we are increasing the active range of motion. So when you are performing concentric, eccentric and isometric together for biceps muscle, it will then relax. After the contraction, it will relax, and you can increase the range of motion directly. Also to strengthen, yes, mainly concentric and eccentric we use for strengthening purpose. You might be learning in MMT and resisted exercises also. Functional training in eccentric control of the movement. So functional training means related to ADL, activities of daily living. All the activities that we are performing. Say for example, from morning when you are waking up, you are starting to brush your teeth, you are going for bathing, you are going for toileting, you are grooming yourself, you are being prepared for lectures, you are sitting while lectures are given, and standing and delivering the lectures, you are having lunch, you are having dinner, everything, all the activities, these are termed as activities of daily living for that individual. And for that we need functional training. DNF patterns are functional patterns, yes, because they help in ADL. Similarly, these techniques that we are learning, they are all functional training techniques when you want to enhance the performance of an individual who is suffering from neurological or orthopedic conditions. Indication. So from here you can see eccentric control. There decrease eccentric control, lack of coordination, that was second. Coordination. From goals itself, you will be able to make the indications. Decrease active range of motion, so we are giving to increase the active range of motion. Lack of active motion within the range of motion. So that is all from the goals itself, you will be able to write the indication. If you remember, તમને યાદ રહે goals, so indication automatically you will be able to write from the goals. Description. Now, how will you do that? We already described for biceps muscle. We can also describe for the same example we took for the first technique. That was for thoracic or back extension. So, the first step that you want to do, the therapist resists the patient moving actively through a desired range of motion. That is concentric contraction. Say, for example, same example that we did for last. We'll ask the patient to bend forward and we want to strengthen the extensors, back extensors. So first you will ask the patient passively to move here, we will do it passively, and then we will resist the motion. હાથ પાછળ રાખીને આપણે resist કરશું extension. Now I am not asking the patient to relax, વચ્ચે relaxation નથી આપવાનું, continuously hold કરવાનું છે position. So first command that you will be giving will be push back away from me. Yes, so when the patient is in flexion, you ask the patient to push back away from me. Yes. Now the patient has to hold this position. So your next command, stop, stay there, don't let me pull you forward. Yes. Stop right there, stay right there, don't let me pull you forward. Why? Because your hands are back, you are trying to give resistance. Yes. And the last thing that the command you want to give, now let me pull you forward, but slowly. Yes, so that is controlled motion towards gravity. Yes, if I am doing this, I am giving, first of all, we'll start from here, push back, hold this position, and now let me pull you forward, but let me do it very slowly. So, whenever you are pushing it forward, the patient's back extensors will work eccentrically to control the motion. So that is how 3 commands that you will be giving to the patient. So when the stability is attained, the therapist tells the patient to allow the part to be moved slowly back into the starting position. There is no relaxation, always. No relaxation between the different types of muscle contraction, and the therapist's hand remains on the same surface. The eccentric or stabilizing muscle contraction may come before the concentric contraction, but very rarely used. We always go for concentric first, isometric second, that is holding the position, and third will be eccentric, always. The same example that we discussed, trunk extension in sitting, the therapist concentric contraction into trunk extension, push back away from me. At the end of patient's active range of motion, tell the patient to stabilize in that position, stop, stay there, don't let me pull you forward. And the third thing, after the patient is stable, move the patient back to the original position while he maintains the control within an eccentric contraction of the trunk extension. That is by giving the command, let me pull you forward, but slowly. If you follow all these 3 commands, that is what is combination of isotonics. Yes, so this is the second technique of TM that we are going to incorporate in patients specifically with neurological disorders. Coming to third, yes, which is termed as reversal of antagonist. Reversal of antagonist. These techniques are based on Sherrington's principle of successive induction. Remember basic neurophysiology lecture. Yes, Sherrington's principle of successive induction includes 3 techniques: dynamic reversal, stabilizing reversal, rhythmic stabilization. Yes, so also from the name itself, you might imagine it is related something to the motion. So dynamic, yes, which allows almost full range of motion. Stabilization, that is allows limited range of motion. And rhythmic stabilization, that allows no motion, or you can say isometric contraction. All the things that I am writing on board will not be able, you will not be able to find in the books. So if preferable, do remember this. It is very important. Note it down if you can. Yes. So it is based on successive induction. there are three subtypes: dynamic reversal, stabilization reversal, and rhythmic stabilization. Now, the name suggests reversal. એટલે કે you will start probably with agonist and later move to antagonist. What does this mean? આની પહેલા આપણે જોયું that was combination of isotonics. Now combination of isotonics આપણે એક જ મસલને ટાર્ગેટ કરીને કરતા હતા. Say for example trunk extensor, say for example biceps muscle. Here now we want to reverse it. Biceps ને ટ્રીટ કરીને તરત triceps ને ટ્રીટ કરવાનું. That is termed as reversal of antagonist. So the first thing, agonist, say for example biceps, and then antagonist, say for example triceps. So you will treat biceps first, resist bicep contraction, and then move to triceps contraction. Yes, if I have to demonstrate it to you, let me just pull up the first one. It will be easy for you to understand. So first we are learning about the dynamic reversal. So characterize active motion changing from one direction agonist to opposite without the cause of relaxation. So if I have to tell you that you can treat elbow flexion or extension or elbow as a whole joint, yes, say for example my elbow extension is limited, so the culprit here is biceps muscle. I can use it combination of isotonics, or I can use the reversal of antagonist also. So first what will I do? I'll go for contraction of biceps muscle, full contraction, available range of motion, continuously, simultaneously, without giving a pause. જેમ આ પૂરું થાય તરત હું hand મારી position, therapist એની position change કરશે and will go for triceps contraction and then ask the patient to relax. This is dynamic stabilization. After dynamic stabilization, we are going to see the, okay, first we'll concentrate on it. So say for example we want to teach the patient, or again with the indications of this we want to go for trunk extension. So what we will do, ask the patient to go from the passively, we have done trunk flexion માંથી trunk extension કરવાનું છે. We will resisting it. Yes, so whenever the patient is this way, we try to resist it as much as possible, and then again change our hands on the anterior aspect and push him forward and ask him to lean downwards. Yes, so the same things. પણ એક મસલ ને રેઝિસ્ટ નથી કરવાનું, બંને મસલ રેઝિસ્ટ કરવાના છે. થેરાપિસ્ટ ની hand position change થશે and the direction will also change. Yes, in combination of isotonics, therapist ni position, hand position એક જ હતી. So if you are resisting from here, moving here અને પછી eccentric કરવું હોય તો પણ આ જ રીતે આવે. Yes, because we are targeting one muscle, but here we are targeting two muscle, as the name suggests. Reversal of antagonist, from agonist we move to antagonist. After dynamic reversal there is stabilization reversal. Stabilization reversal માં એક જ difference છે. You have to do it in limited range of motion, 5 to degrees range of motion. As we say for example અહીંયાથી from 90 degrees we are not able to move it. Yes, okay, say from 90 degrees we are not able to move it. So from here I'll start resisting. Yes, હું 5 to 10 degrees of motion થવા દઈશ. Again I'll change my position and go for tricep contraction and ask the patient to relax. Yes, so that is stabilization reversal. And rhythmic stabilization, that is nothing else but moving isometrically only. એક જ જગ્યાએ 90 degree છે, biceps નું contraction followed by the triceps contraction. Yes, so that is the only difference in the three types of technique reversal of antagonist. So the first is dynamic reversal. Dynamic reversal, the full range of motion માં biceps extension માંથી full flexion, triceps full flexion માંથી full extension immediately without giving a pause or relaxation. Yes, why it is done? From the goal we can see increase active range of motion. It will increase the range of motion. The same example that we give, biceps and triceps શું કામ કરતા હતા? Range of motion વધારવા માટે. Second, increase the strength. Yes, because it is a resisted exercise, it will increase the strength. Develops coordination. Yes, coordination is needed. Why coordination? Because when a joint is moving in particular direction, the opposite muscle has to relax. If it contracts in between or other muscles start to contract, it will be incoordinated motion. Prevent or reduce fatigue. So fatigue will also be reduced when the patient is moving. Why? Because પહેલા biceps નું contraction કર્યું, biceps fatigue થશે તો આપણે કરીશું પછી second triceps નું contraction કર્યું, then the biceps will relax. If biceps relaxes, the fatigue level goes down. Increase the endurance. Again and again, if we do this activity, it will increase the endurance of that individual also. Indication from the same: decrease active range of motion, weakness of agonistic muscle, decrease ability to change the direction, that is coordination, and exercise muscle begins to fatigue. So these are all the indications directly from the goal, as we have already discussed. If you remember goals, indications are easy to remember. Moving to description for dynamic reversal. So the therapist resists the patient moving in one direction, usually stronger or better direction. Like a biceps, if it is the culprit, then you go for biceps contraction, later on the triceps contraction. At the end of the desired range of motion, like a full elbow flexion, say for example, after example, full elbow flexion thank you. Then the therapist reverse the grip up to therapist knee grasp change the say from anterior portion to moving to posterior portion, or we can say volar aspect to dorsal aspect, and give the preparatory command directly contract, go for elbow extension. Then the therapist gives the action command to reverse the direction without relaxation. Yes, we do not have to give relaxation in between, and give resistance to the new motion. The reversal may be done as often as necessary. It can be done 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 times also. Yes, depends what is your aim. If you want to increase endurance, do it again and again. If you want to just teach the patient the movement, do it for 5 to 10 times. It is enough. Start with the contraction of stronger pattern, finish with the contraction of weaker pattern. Now here we are talking about pattern. So D1, D2, flexion, extension, upper limb, lower limb, all the things that we have discussed can be applied through the technique, all the techniques that we are going to see. Hold and relax, contract and relax, all the things, reversal of antagonist, all the 7 can be given with patterns also. Here the example is of the pattern, D1 pattern specifically. So, reversing lower extremity pattern from flexion to extension. Resist the pattern of the lower extremity, foot up and lift your leg up. So, we are asking the patient to do foot up and put the leg up. Yes, outside, flexion, abduction, rotation. As the patient leg approaches the end range, slide the hand of the plantar surface and give refractory command. So, our hand one will be at the foot, one hand will be at the knee joint, above the knee joint. Yes, when we are doing this movement. Now, our hand grasp will change from the dorsal aspect of the foot to plantar aspect of the foot, and above the knee to lower aspect of the knee. Give action command. Now push your foot down and kick your leg down. So from this position we started, and now we'll ask the patient to do plantar flexion and extend the foot. That is the command here given. Example. Coming to second, stabilizing reversal. There were 3 things. For dynamic, it was full range of motion. For static, stabilizing reversal, it will be limited 5 to 10 degrees of range of motion. Altering contraction opposed by enough resistance to prevent the motion, or we can say allow small range of motion. The command is a dynamic command, and the therapist allows only a very small movement. Yes, around, you can remember, 5 to 10 degrees only, not more than that. Now on video, if I am showing you 5 to 10 degrees, you will hardly be able to see. Yes, so that is what is to be allowed. Otherwise, it is not to be allowed. If it is more than 5 to 10 degrees, then it is dynamic reversal, not stabilizing reversal. Goal: increase the stability and balance, increase the muscle strength, increase coordination between agonist and antagonist. How it will increase? First, we are going to go for agonist contraction and later for antagonist contraction. So, patient will learn how to reverse this from agonist, how to move to antagonist. Biceps contraction પછી triceps contraction કઈ રીતે કરવું patient ને ખબર પડવા મળશે. Indication again from the goals itself: decrease stability, weakness, patient is unable to contract muscle isometrically. So all this can be used. The therapist gives resistance to the patient starting in the strongest direction while asking the patient to oppose the force. Very little motion is allowed. The therapist begins to resist in the another direction. If I have to give example, patient's trunk flexor muscle, don't let me push you backward. When the patient is contracting trunk flexor muscle, move your head to resist trunk extension. Don't let me pull you forward. So if I want to demonstrate, what we'll do first, I'll resist the elbow, we can say trunk extension. So from here, I will allow only 5 degrees of motion. When 5 degrees is achieved, you will change your grasp again. In all the things, reversal of antagonist, grasp change the set. If you are not changing the grasp, it is not reversal of antagonist. Yes. therapist નું grasp change થશે. Why? Because we have to oppose both the muscles, agonist and antagonist. Agonist એક બાજુ હશે, antagonist ના opposite side હશે. Yes, that is the main definition. Agonist is on one side, antagonist is opposite muscle group. તો એને રેઝિસ્ટ કરવું હશે તો opposite direction માં grasp આપણે રાખીને રેઝિસ્ટન્સ આપવું પડશે. Same thing when we are going to give 5 degrees of movement. Yes, I am doing more just to make it sure that you are able to see on the camera, and later we'll go for entry aspect and give the command you have to come forward, but you will provide so much resistance, only 5 to 10 degrees of range of motion is possible by the patient. Third, rhythmic stabilization. Isometric contraction. Yes, કાંઈ જ નથી કરવાનું. You have to resist so much that there is isometric contraction first of agonist and then the antagonist. Alternating isometric contraction against resistance, no motion intended. Not a single degree of motion should be there. Goal: increase active percentage of motion, increase strength, increase stability and balance, and decrease the pain. Through isometric contraction, pain can be decreased. Here is an additional benefit of providing rhythmic stabilization technique. Indication: when it is limited range of motion, when there is pain, when there is joint stability, when there is weakness in the antagonistic muscle group. Sorry, here it will be joint instability. Yes, not stability. When the joint is unstable, then you get to provide isometric contractions, that is rhythmic stabilization. Going to the commands, the therapist resists isometric contraction of the agonistic. Patient maintains the position without trying to move, then resistance is slowly increased. Patient is responding fully, the therapist starts resisting the antagonistic motion. Example: trunk stability, resist, stay still, match my resistance in front, now start matching me in the back, hold it. Yes, so two important things. First, you will not give resistance directly. Patient એક સાથે maximum resistance ના આપે ને, slowly and steadily it increases. So say for example, if I have to show you for biceps muscle, say for example I'm doing it for biceps here and I'm trying to contract. So when I'm trying to contract here, maximum amount of force, I'll ask the patient, yes, match my resistance, match my resistance, match my resistance, and the power or the strength increases, muscle tone increases. Maintaining this muscle tone, I feel can, yes, this is the maximum power the patient will be able to do, maximum આટલું જ કરી શકશે patient. I'll change my grasp and I'll ask the patient to contract triceps now. Yes, maximum, 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 maximum. This is the commands that you will have to give. So match the resistance in moving the elbow into flexion, and then reverse it and move the hand into extension as much as possible. These will be the commands that you will give the patient. Here it is given for trunk flexion and extension. So there is some minor difference between last two techniques that we talked: stabilization reversal and rhythmic stabilization. First, stabilization reversal. એમાં આપણે કીધું limited range of motion. If there is some motion, it is always isotonic type of contraction. Whereas in rhythmic initiation, clearly we told it will be isometric contraction. Intention to move 5 to 10 degrees. Here, no intention to move. That is why it is isometric contraction. It is a dynamic command. That means you are intending some movement. 5 to 10 degrees movement to thase. That is why it is dynamic command. And this will be a static command. That is, you are not intending any motion. You are just asking the patient to contract the muscle isometrically. Muscle activity: agonist to antagonist, to agonist to antagonist, and here it will be same. Agonist to antagonist activity possible, or you can say co-contraction also. Co-contraction. In last lecture I had probably told you this term. Co-contraction means agonist plus antagonist contraction. Whenever two muscles, two opposite group of muscles, say for example biceps and triceps, together they are contracting, it is termed as co-contraction. Yes, you might say that will hamper the reciprocal inhibition law. એક muscle ને contract થવું હોય તો બીજાને relax થવું જ પડે. Yes, but that is only applicable when we want a motion. જ્યારે કોઈ movement જોતી હોય, say for example elbow flexion કરવું છે, એ ટાઈમે biceps contract થશે તો triceps ને relax થવું જ પડે, બાકી movement ના થાય. Yes, so that is reciprocal inhibition. But co-contraction means there is no motion intended. This is isometric type of contraction. If it is isometric, there is no movement, there is no motion. If there is no motion, both can contract together. You can do it on yourself right now even. Keep your hands straight. Try to contract the bicep muscles, palpate, and try to do the same for triceps together. Yes, hold it this way. Through two fingers, palpate the triceps. Through one finger, palpate the biceps, and try to contract both at the same time. That is possible. Yes, your hand will start vibrating a bit. Yes, so that is termed as co-contraction. This is an example of co-contraction, which is only possible in isometric muscle contraction. If we try to do this in isotonic, this will not be termed as isotonic. Why? Because there will be no motion. The member ने एक साथ contract कर so motion नहीं आवे. Motion as in range of motion will not be achieved. Yes, so that is why it is characteristic of isometric contraction. So with here we have completed two techniques. Yes, in second technique we have seen yet another three techniques. So overall we have learned today four important PNF techniques. Just to give you an idea of what we have done today. The first was combination of isometrics. In that, there is first of all concentric contraction, followed by isometric contraction, and last was eccentric contraction. Yes, this was the main summary of combination of isotonics. After this, we learned about reversal of antagonist. Here, there are again three sub-techniques. Dynamic reversal, full range of motion intended, stabilization reversal. Here only 5 to 10 degrees of range of motion is intended, and rhythmic stabilization where no range of motion is intended. That is an isometric type of contraction. Yes. So from this you can just remember the techniques, how it is given. Concentric, isometric, eccentric. It will target, remember this, one muscle, only one muscle. Reversal of antagonist will always target two muscles, namely agonist and antagonist. Yes, so this is the summary of today's lecture that we have learned about two important PNF techniques. Yes, so you are free to ask any doubts if you have. Yes or no in the chat. Everyone should reply. You want to know anything, you want to revise anything from this, you are free to let me know. Okay. Okay, fine, no doubt, fine. Okay, have you taken the attendance?